Hey there! Packages are supposed to be easy, yet every time I talk to Unity developers about packages in general, or NuGet Package Manager in particular, there are a lot of misconceptions and even some level of fear. And that's understandable, NuGet is not native to Unity. So, in this video, I'll try to create a definitive guide to NuGet in Unity, ways to install it, and how to pair it with your Git workflow. Buckle up! If you're unfamiliar with NuGet, it's the package manager for the .NET ecosystem. It's conceptually similar to UPM in Unity, NPM in JavaScript, and CocoaPods for Apple platform projects. Basically, it's a place that stores packages and libraries. And while NuGet is not directly supported by Unity, there are a ton of great packages there, so that shouldn't stop us. First, let's take a look at the repository's website, nuget.org. And I'll take the most popular NuGet package in existence as an example. It's Newtonsoft.json, a package that was downloaded 7 billion times from NuGet alone. When you view in package information, here's what you can see. First, the target platforms. There's an extended list under the Frameworks tab with all platforms listed, but most of the time you'll be okay with the top list here. I could go into a long rant here about all of the Microsoft frameworks, but I really shouldn't. What you're looking for is .NET Standard 2.0 or lower. Unity uses 2.0 in its older versions and 2.1 in newer ones. Then there's the project website and source repository. In smaller packages, it's usually the same, and more often than not, it leads to a GitHub repository where you can spec the code you're installing. There's also a dependencies tab listing every package it will pull from the repo when you're installing this one. So, for example, if you're installing Newtonsoft.json with the .NET Standard 1.0 target framework, you'll get Microsoft C# version 4.3 or higher, netstandard.library, type converter, and primitives. All of those are also NuGet packages, so if we inspect the Microsoft C# package, it will also have some dependencies, and the list can be almost infinite. But that's the case with any package manager, NuGet, NPM, UPM, you name it. Lastly, we have versions. You can see the version history here, along with a warning if a specific version has any vulnerability issues. There is more info here, but honestly, I doubt you'll spend much, if any, time on the website. That is, unless you decide to install the package manually, because at the end of the day, these packages mostly contain only binaries that we can import into our projects. And while you can click the download package button, change the file extension from new package to zip and extract the binaries from there, I prefer using the package explorer. Clicking on it will load the Explorer app. What we're interested in here is the lib folder and the Net Standard 2.0 folder inside of it. Note, not the Net 2.0, but Net Standard 2.0. Those are two different targets. Here's a DLL we can download just by double-clicking on it. Thankfully, Newtonsoft.json doesn't have dependencies for our target platform. But just imagine what would you have to do if the package you intend to download does have dependencies. So, I don't advise using this method ever. Another approach would be to use a curated list of NuGet packages hosted on the OpenUPM. And as much as I'd like this to be the preferred method, it has its pros and cons. Here you can see a repository by Borja Dominguez that does just that, and I hope I spelled his name correctly. How does it work? Well, you know how you can download packages from Unity's package manager? And how you can download packages from OpenUPM? So this guy has some sort of collaboration with OpenUPM, and they host an alternative repository on their servers. This repository posts the NuGet package manager every 10 minutes and checks for updates on packages that are hard-coded into its manifest. If there's an update, it creates a UPM-style package out of it. Let's install Newtonsoft.json this way. First, we need to add scoped repository to the manifest.json file. We basically tell Unity that we have a repository we call something, in this case Unity NuGet, but you're free to name it whatever. And that the address for this repository is unitynugetregistry.openupm.com. Then we say that every package ID that starts with org.nuget should be pulled from this specific repository. And now we're ready to add the package itself. The way we do it by providing a package ID prefixed with org.nuget and a valid version. Remember the versions list on the NuGet website? You can install UPM packages this way, via CLI, or via the editor GUI, but that's another topic. After Unity recompiles, we can now use newtons of JSON in our project. Here, I serialize this object using JSON converter from this library. And you can also see the package in the packages list. The pros are obvious. You can install any NuGet package in the list, which contains roughly 500 packages, directly via Unity's package manager. And the packages are promised to be compatible with Unity, at least on paper. There can still be issues. The biggest benefit, if you're developing a UPM package yourself, having the ability to just reference a NuGet package as a dependency is priceless. With this setup, the newtons of JSON package will be pulled as a dependency for anyone installing my package, without explicitly referencing it in the manifest JSON. Now for the cons. You don't have control over the binaries you install this way. By default, they will all go into your build, so if your installed package for editor use only, it's in your build, and you can't easily modify the meta files of those binaries. Second, many of the packages might not appear in this list, and speaking of the list, you can find it here in the repository, along with the minimum version you can install. But if you don't find what you're looking for here, you can always open a pull request and add it yourself, along with all of its dependencies. Third issue? Well, their servers sometimes have some stability issues, at least from my personal experience. I've hit a dead end point multiple times when I needed it. But it's easily solvable with a self-hosted server, or you can even host it locally with only the packages you need. We won't get into it now, but it's totally an option. This brings us to the last method. There is a custom NuGet client for Unity. It's called, well, NuGet for Unity, and it is maintained by Patrick McCarthy. This one is a full-fledged client, meaning you can install anything that fits your build target. But there are no promises it's going to work. You can easily install a Windows-only package and try using it on Android builds. Let's see how we can install it. This time, instead of filling in the data manually in the manifest JSON file, I'll use the OpenUPM CLI. You know, just for fun. Once it's installed, it's time to head to Unity. Notice the missing signature pop-up? This is the new thing Unity introduced in 6.3. OpenUPM doesn't support package signing yet, so unless you're watching this video in the relatively distant future, just ignore it. Now I can access the NuGet menu. First, there's the Manage NuGet Packages option. This opens a window that allows you to install, update, or remove NuGet packages. And right from the get-go, you can see newtons of JSON here. Let's install it by just pressing this button here. Now the newtons of JSON library is installed, but this time I want to install something else as well. I'll search for and substitute, which is an awesome library for mocking data in Unitest, and I'll install it as well. Now let's see how the rest of it works. First, you have the option to view and remove any package from here. Just press the Install tab. Here you can see the packages you installed explicitly, but also the packages that came as dependencies. And as you can see, it's quite a long list. If you want to know who is responsible for all of those, you can open the dependency tree. It's located under NuGet, Show Dependency Tree. Now I can view the details. As you can see, and substitute depends on Castle Core, which in turn depends on System Diagnostics Event Log, which depends on System Security Principal Windows, a long chain of dependencies. If I were to install this package via the curated list I showed you previously, all of those DLLs would have been compiled into a release build. But I need and substitute only for editor use and don't need it in the builds. With this installation method, I can manage what goes where. First, let's examine the file system. In the root of the assets folder, we can see three new things. NuGet config, then there's the packages folder, and then packages config. Packages is where everything is installed. Packages config is an XML file that is similar in nature to manifest JSON. It just lists all of the packages you installed. And NuGet config holds the configuration for the tool itself and is best configured via the editor window. Just navigate to NuGet and then Preferences. And here you can see many options. As you can see, you can select where to install packages. By default, it's the packages folder inside the root of the assets folder. Personally, I don't like NuGet packages in my assets folder. I like them in the same place where all of my packages reside, in the packages folder. So I'll change the placement settings to in packages folder. This will trigger a compilation and will take a while. Now, inside the packages folder, we have an editable package called NuGet packages. And by the way, if you want to, you can rename it to whatever you want. Inside the installed packages, there's a folder for each NuGet package. And while I'd love for them to be separate, well, we'll have to work with what we have. Thanks to the dependency tree, I know that I don't want any of the packages in my builds, well, except for newtons of JSON. But inside each folder, there might be a ton of other stuff I need to dig through. And while unreferenced text assets or images will be stripped from the builds, the DLLs are not. Here's a nice trick though. To list all of the libraries that came from NuGet, I can just search by label. To do that, I'll click on the label icon here and select NuGet for Unity. Then I'll choose the installed packages folder as a search target and voila! Here are all of the libraries. Now I can select all of them except for newtons of JSON, and in order to strip them from builds, I'll uncheck all of the platforms in the list, hit apply, and wait for the compilation to finish. This would be it, but if you're using Git, and you probably do, you want to exclude DLLs from your repository. At least it's a good practice. The thing is, NuGet, like any package manager, has restore functionality. So if I delete all or some packages from the project, I can always hit the restore packages button or trigger it via API, and as long as packages config remains untouched, all of the packages will be installed again. But here's the thing. If I search for NuGet for Unity once again and select any library, it's once again included in every build. This happens because along with the libraries, I deleted the meta files. So when you're excluding DLL files from the repository with your git ignore file, don't exclude their meta files in your commits. That way, the settings will remain untouched even after a restore. Well, that's it. Such a small topic with so many things to consider. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps. Keep on creating, and I'll see you in the next one.